We are.
All
Okay.
right. Oh, Barb. Okay, and Barb is Lisa's mom. I was just talking to Hope about how amazing your daughter is, Barb,
Aw, thank
and how
you.
she was so helpful with helping me kind of know where to direct my small business. And Hope and I
Mm-hmm.
were just chatting about that.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
So,
We'll be
yeah,
chatting with your daughter here soon.
yeah,
Awesome. All good. She loves what she can do for others, and man,
Mm,
she's creative, so take advantage of
yeah.
mm,
She is great.
it. Here.
love,
Okay.
love it.
I'm gonna go run and get paper real quick so I can take notes.
Okay, yeah. If any
Right.
of you, a journal and pen
Yep.
would be really great to have with you
Mm-hmm.
if you need. Otherwise, you can always use your notes in your phone if you have to. Hi, Kelsey. How are you?
Hi there. Sorry, I'm just trying to finish up a couple things on dinner here, but
That's
I'm
okay. Good.
here.
I just wanted to say hi. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course.
Great.
Okay.
All right.
We're going to go ahead and get started. First off, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for showing up. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Hope. I am a holistic life nurse coach who blends nervous system work, emotional healing, and embodied spirituality to help people reconnect with their authentic selves and create more aligned lives and relationships. I lead transformational group spaces and one on one coaching containers that focus on self trust, empowerment, and deep interconnection. I just want to go ahead and set the intention or agreements for this space to be one of non judgment, openness, mutual respect, and connection. And then when it gets time to sharing, I just ask that for as many people to a share as possible, just be like cognizant to keep your shares between like 2 and 3 minutes or so. Now, before we jump in, I really just like to set the stage for the type of work that I do. And I'm going to ask that you go ahead and maybe not Kels or people that are doing stuff, but go ahead and get comfy in your seat and either close your eyes or have like a softened gaze. There we go. Yeah. And when you're ready, go ahead and inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. In and out. It's so easy to get caught up in the busyness of life and forget that we're living, breathing human beings that need to slow down. Inhale and exhale. We're going to take the biggest, deepest breath you've probably taken all day. In a little bit more. Hold it at the top and exhale. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. So I would love to get to know you all just a little bit more. And in the chat, if you wouldn't mind sharing where you're at in the world, a word or two to describe your current emotional state, and what brought you to this hour. And I'll post these in the chat so that you have easy access to them. So I live in the Madison, Wisconsin area. I am feeling buzzy and balanced. And I am in this hour because I'm very passionate about this topic. I believe that everyone benefits from learning to regulate their emotions and having a regulated nervous system because it not only the person doing the work benefits, but you positively impact everyone around you and everyone who comes into contact with you. Hey Kelly, welcome. Tracy from California. Yeah, slowing down. It's definitely a hard one, but it's so beneficial. Washington, D.C., feeling focused. Cool. Love it. Working on yourself is always gives you back tenfold. Yeah, I'm feeling grateful too. Feeling stressed. Yeah. It was a stressful dinner hour in my house too, so it was also nice for me to have this space. I want to learn more how to control anxiety and my emotions related to stress. Mm, yeah, like I said, Jolyn, like everyone benefits from learning to navigate big emotions, tough emotions, chaotic. Yep, yep. We got young kids, we get it. Yeah, mindset's huge, Abby. Mindset is everything. From Dubuque, cool. Yeah, spring. Okay, amazing. Thank you all for sharing that. Leah is going to give you kind of the tools in the toolkit tomorrow morning, but I am going to talk about 2 tools in the toolkit. But for timing's sake, I'm only going to be able to get through 2, but in the Google Doc tomorrow, there will be more tools in the toolkit that you can read through and integrate into your life.
Hey, Hope. I just wanted
Yep.
to input here. Several of these women have traveled with your mom, Jessie. And so
That's
I don't know if
fun.
you know this, but Jessie Burlage, who's co-hosted with me in Banff in Montana, this is her oldest daughter, Hope. So I just said I would connect those
That's
dots because everybody loves
Yes.
Jessie and she's a very special
Oh.
human. And of course you are too. And that's it's just nice to kind of make those connections. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just wanted to say hi to Dawn. I didn't get a chance to say hi. Thanks, Dawn. And Tina, and thanks for your input too. I just saw those come in. But anyway, thank you, Hope, again. And I didn't get a chance to thank you for being here. So thank you.
Yes, yes, of course. Okay, I'm letting one more person in. Hey, Dawn. Um, Sorry. Yes, thank you for sharing about, my mom being Jessie. I love her too, obviously. She's the best mom ever. But before we get into any of these practical tools, I want to ask you all something. How many of you have ever had your brain do that thing where it's like running a million miles an hour and it's only thinking about the future and it's attempting to predict everything that could go wrong, and then your body's reacting as though it's already happening? Raise your hand if you relate to that feeling. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Great, my people. That's probably why you're here. Your heart speeds up, your chest starts to tighten, you maybe start to sweat, and your mind starts trying to solve every problem all at once. This is anxiety. And today we're going to learn how to work with it instead of against it. Anxiety is information. It's often a nervous system activation, such as fight, flight, freeze, or fawning, and it's paired with the perceived lack of safety or control. The body reacts faster than the brain, and our goal here becomes to regulate first and make meaning second. And remember that emotional intensity doesn't equal danger. And this starts with body awareness, naming the feeling, and then closing your eyes and locating where it lives in the body. Emotion literally just means energy in motion. Different emotions need different outlets. And this is the practice of somatically moving emotions through the body so that they don't end up stuck and being displayed as physical pain. I don't know if any of you have heard the term the body keeps the score, but this is what I'm talking about here. Emotions and energy can get stuck, and it very much displays as physical pain, chronic illnesses, autoimmune diseases in women. And so I'm kind of going to talk through 4 of the bigger emotions that come through and then how to move through them. Anxiety and fear really benefits somatically moving through the body by shaking your arms and your legs or your torso, or taking deep breaths with audible sighs. So an inhale and an audible sigh exhale. Repeating that 5 to 10 times really makes a huge difference in terms of moving fear and anxiety through the body. This is one of my default emotions, anger and frustration. Ways to move anger and frustration through the body is going up against a wall in a push-up position in an attempt to literally push the wall over. And you can repeat that 2, 3, 4 times until you kind of feel that energy move through your body. Another thing you can do for anger or frustration is full body tension. So you'll tense your arms, your legs, your toes, and then you release. And you tense for 5 or 6 seconds and release. And eventually you'll start to feel that anger kind of melt away. Next, grief and sadness really benefit from kind of gentle swaying. I don't know how many of you are parents or moms here, but it's kind of that mom sway when you got a baby in your hands. Helps with grief and sadness. Or lying in a fetal position and kind of rocking your body back and forth. And then the last emotion that I'm going to talk about here to somatically move through the body is shame and disconnection. And this one is kind of hard to pinpoint, especially if you're newer to naming your feelings. Shame and disconnection is often under anger. So anger is most often a secondary emotion that's displayed, where shame is more of a primary emotion. Shame and disconnection benefit from a really good self-hug or gentle cat-cow movements. So the first tool in the toolkit that I am going to talk about is called Worst, Best, and Middle. This tool helps interrupt anxious and catastrophic thinking. If the brain can imagine the worst case scenario, I dare you to also imagine the best case scenario here. So an example of this, and it's so funny that I'm speaking here about this with Leah being the pro packer and traveler that she is. I suck at packing for trips. It causes me so much anxiety. And so in this realm, the worst case scenario for myself, I forget something important for my kids or myself, and I don't have access to getting it on the other end of where I'm landing. That would be the worst case scenario. Okay, let's flip that. Hope, what's the best case scenario here? All right, everything's packed, the trip flows easily, and I get to enjoy the present moment with myself and my family. Then we're kind of going to land somewhere in the middle. That might be more of like the reality or a neutral response. Okay, something may be forgotten, but you know what? I'm resourceful and I know I can figure it out. And I can ask myself, is it really that important of a thing that I forgot, or did I inflate it to feel bigger than it needs to? This practice helps stretch our brain to live more in the land of reality and neutrality rather than just assuming the worst case scenario. But anxious thinking is only part of the equation here. The other piece is our capacity to actually feel what's happening inside of us without getting overwhelmed or consumed. Emotional regulation is capacity. Regulation does not mean suppression. It's the ability to feel emotions without becoming overwhelmed or consumed by them. And when you avoid or resist emotions, it just causes them to persist and it increases anxiety long term. So small exposures to emotions over time helps build resiliency. This is our first journaling exercises. So if you want to grab that journal and piece of paper or a writing utensil, pen, whatever you've got, that would be great. And I'll read the questions aloud and I'll play some light music in the background and I'll go ahead and post them in the chat. Don't post your responses in the chat because I'll call on people if you're feeling willing to share. The first question we are going to journal on is, what emotion am I most uncomfortable feeling? Where do I notice it lives in my body? What am I afraid would happen if I fully felt it? And when have I survived this feeling before? go ahead and post those in the chat. Okay. I'll give you 5 or so minutes to journal on those and get some music going here.
Battery 70%. Poop. Poop. Floating peacefully, the shades of in the shade of peace. Let me share in ways all over spring, all over seasons. That on the sky be letting go, letting go. Dancing in the way the birds in the tree tops, letting rain about.
Everyone feel like they kind of have enough time there? Get the questions answered, just throw me a thumbs up. Cool. Okay. Who would like to be the first brave person to share?
I can go, but it's really embarrassing.
Oh, no, like I said, space of non-judgment.
Okay. This is a lot to admit. I don't even know if I've admitted this to my husband before, but I think when my anxiety is the worst, I actually feel rage.
Mm,
And I get an upset stomach, and it's like kind of like a chest in my chest and my stomach. I feel like I just want to punch something or someone.
Mm-hmm.
This does not
Mhm.
happen very often, but when it does,
Mhm.
I'm just like, it, it's yeah. Um, and I think you said, have I survived this feeling? Yeah, I survive it every time. I usually know that I need to find space. I need to cry or I need to get outside into nature.
Mhm.
Is usually how I do it, but sometimes I'm not very, sometimes you can't do those things. So,
Yeah.
so learning to like breathe through it and learning like some of the, I liked what you said about shaking your hands and shaking it out and like
Mhm.
moving my body. I feel like that would be a
Mhm.
really good
Mhm.
tool for me.
Yeah, that rage benefits from like pushing the wall over or like tensing your whole body and then letting it melt. What are you afraid would happen if you fully felt it? If you fully just let your rage, if you gave it 90 seconds?
I just don't like the feeling at all. I don't like it when it
Mm,
happens. I mean, it
mhm,
always passes, right?
mhm,
But
mhm,
I have a hard time just letting it flow through me. Instead, I feel like I need to react, and I don't like that I feel like I should react because that's not the time to react.
mhm, mhm.
And I
Yeah,
know
that's
that, but yet you're like, I need to solve this right now. Like
yeah,
something's going down, you know? And it's
yeah.
never probably anything that's even really that. I think it comes from being in the restaurant business a really long time and things are like
Mm,
flowing quickly and you have to make quick decisions and things are happening quick and somebody can leave a bad review or it can turn bad like quickly. So I think it's just like old habits that you learned from. You
yeah,
learned, yeah.
yeah.
So
And do you feel like it's benefiting you anymore to kind of like still be living in that old programming?
no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting better, but occasionally it still happens and I'm like, whoa, where did
Yeah.
that come from? I thought I got rid of you, you know?
Yeah. Yes. What do they say?
Yeah.
Healing happens in a spiral. So like you'll continue to bump up
Ah,
against it and bump up against it until you're further enough out and you're like, "Oh, I know how to handle this. I can,
yeah.
I can do this."
Yeah.
Um, Thank you so much for that vulnerable
Yeah.
share and like what great awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because most people are like, you're so soft and gentle and
Mhm.
happy, and I am, but
Mhm.
occasionally I want to punch something.
Yeah. And unfortunately, as women, it's like suppress it. It's not socially acceptable. It's not acceptable to experience anger, and it's like
Yeah.
bullshit.
And
Bullshit.
hormones, and there's just
Yeah.
so many things that come into play. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Well,
So, and I
thank
grew
you
up
for.
with four brothers, and I probably did watch them punch walls and things like
Mhm.
that, but I never had that outlet, right? Like, you know,
Mhm.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, thank you. That was a good exercise.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Who's the next brave soul? Can't wait to hear from you.
I can go.
Yes.
The emotion I'm most uncomfortable with is feeling stuck in a situation. I feel it in my heart or chest, like I feel a tightening. And I almost feel like that feeling that you're going to vomit in your throat. I will feel that. And I'm afraid if I fully feel it, that I put paralysis, but I'm already there. So I don't know why I fear that because I'm already in a paralysis state. But I think even more, the deeper regret that I have for staying in a situation longer than what I know I should. And then just continuing to beat myself up about it and just feeling worse about myself for staying in that situation. And I definitely have survived it in the past, in a being in a bad relationship. So I survived it and made it through. This is more for my day to day, my work. I feel just trapped in a corporate job where I know I'm not supposed to be, but I'm still here. Leah's like, I heard this last year, but no,
No.
still here, still here. But yeah, I haven't have not figured out a way to work through it to where I make a change.
Mm, mm. Thank you so much for playing full out and for sharing so honestly. And I'm curious if you're able to recognize that that little whisper is actually your intuition and your alignment telling you
Yes.
this is no longer in alignment with who I am and my values. And I'm curious, what do you feel like is the next right first step for you?
Resigning from my job. I have a little side hustle that brings me more joy than I ever thought possible. And it's greasy and it's dirty and the pay is not what I'm making behind a laptop, but it's joy. And I feel that my purpose is to serve others. And
Mhm.
that is my outlet in being able to do that.
What's holding you back? What's the roadblock?
Fear, but obviously my husband's he's self-employed. So it's the healthcare and the steady income.
Mm, mm,
If I went with my self-employment, then it's figuring out healthcare at probably at a higher cost and just the unknown of the pay. I think in the back of my mind, I know it'll all work out. Um,
mm.
I don't need the salary that I'm making. I think I cling on to what it allows me to do for my grandkids and my kids and myself, but it's not necessary.
Yeah. Who do you have in your corner that supports you to do to do things that you're fearful of, fear of the unknown, but like know that you can do hard shit anyway? Who supports you in that realm?
I have a lot of girlfriends that are in my corner. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Tina, thank you so much for sharing, and the rest of this content is totally going to hit home for you. Like I'm just so excited to give you all of these tools and resources. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Okay, we probably have time for one more share. Who's up for it? Tracy? Barb?
We'll let Barb.
Mine, I can go. Mine's
Okay.
very simple and basic, and maybe I thought of it because I'm right here at my desk where I do a lot of trip planning
Mhm.
for different organizations. I lead hikes and whatnot, and I'm kind of always on the go. And I know my organizational skills need better help.
Mm,
But one time what I thought of immediately though was this feeling of unpreparedness. Like, where are those flora and fauna brochures that I always take with me every January to Maui? Where are they? Why didn't I put them away the last time I could, a year ago when I got home? And the frustration that goes with that, like, why didn't I take care of that right away? Everything needs a home. And I was getting ready for a trip. I had just purchased a new, like, Chase Sapphire card or something. I don't know. And I went to finalize everything I knew I needed. I do have checklists and I look at that. I could not find my Chase Sapphire card. I was so frustrated. I probably wasted half an hour and it was time to go to bed. It was past time to go to bed for me for an early flight. And I walked away from it. I knew I had to walk away, clear my head. I don't remember what I did. Came back into my desk where I knew I had seen it, the last place I'd seen it. Lo and behold, something just, I don't know, maybe it's my mom's picture up here, who knows, what led me to think, oh, I put it in the copier to make a scan of it to take a copy, like you do with your passport and whatnot. Oh
mhm.
my gosh. And I had a good laugh and I was grateful and moved on. But
Yeah.
ever since then, it's like, don't ever leave anything important in the printer because they're in the scanner. Something so
Mhm.
simple, but then, the questions you're asking as follow up, what do I need to do? Be more prepared, have a home for everything and take care of, little tidbits like that that I know I want to use again and deal with it right away. but I had to walk away from the situation, clear my mind, and come back to it. So it all turned out okay, but it's frustrating. It I feel like I'm wasting time when I do that, when I know it's right here somewhere and I just need to, anyway. So have a home for everything.
Yeah. Permission to share something bold here.
Mhm.
Tell me about how do you feel like you have a balance of your masculine and your feminine energy?
Well, I've never been asked that before. So,
Mm.
wow. Um, I don't know how to answer that.
Mm. Let me give a
Hmm.
little backstory here. So
Okay.
the feminine is energy, and the masculine is containment and follow through. So the best way that it's been described to me is think of the feminine energy as a river. And the river only gets strong when it has riverbanks, which is the masculine. And so the beautiful balance of the masculine and the feminine is containment and energy. And what I'm hearing you say is like you have great energy, but the follow through and the containment is where things might be lacking a little bit. Am I hitting it on the head here?
Yeah, yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So what do I do? How do I get those riverbanks?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You you
Okay.
start you start
Interesting.
you start small. So you set goals for yourself, you write your lists, and then you follow through, and that builds confidence. And then over time,
Mhm.
you'll see that your organization and being prepared is going you're that's going to happen because it's happening around you. So setting those micro goals and then following through builds confidence in those actions.
Wow. Thank you, Hope.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely.
Love it. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Okay. Thank you all so much for sharing.
Can we
This
just talk for
sets
1 second about Tina's duck?
I really wanted to ask too.
Tina,
Full support. And if it's distracting, I will put her away.
No.
We
no.
incubated eggs, and she's our lone survivor. Her name's
my
Rocky, and
God.
she thinks I'm her duck mom.
What's her
And
name?
Oh, yeah, you're wearing yellow too. She's like, "Can I give you a
oh,
kiss?"
she probably is very confused right now. Yeah, no, she's definitely my little emotional support. And so,
Oh
but if
my,
it is distracting, I could put her down.
no,
No,
don't. I
No.
just had to, I
No.
just had to confirm.
Okay. This is Rocky. She was actually with us, Leah, but in my hair because she was about this big in our session that we did with Christy last.
Oh,
But she
she's
just
grown that much in a
yeah.
month? Oh my
Well,
God.
that was in the December maybe when we did it.
Oh,
No,
in that one. Okay, yeah. Okay. Oh,
but
thank you. Well, nice
but
to meet you, Rocky. She's just staring right at you.
she I yes. I have never heard the feminine and masculine described in that way.
Yeah,
And
could you do that one more time, Hope?
yeah, I was trying to
Yeah.
write it like with a
Ab-
visual. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So the feminine can be described as energy. So you think of it like a river and a river bank. And the feminine is the water, it's the energy. And the feminine can't have all that beautiful energy if there's no riverbanks. And the riverbanks are your masculine, it's your containment, it's what makes your feminine and the beautiful balance of both so powerful together.
Okay.
Oh, guys, I love this stuff. I could talk about this stuff for days. Okay. The second tool in the toolkit is called, Leah, this is the one that would be beneficial with your share here, the 90-second emotional wave. So you can set a timer for 90 seconds or just kind of have an internal knowing of what 90 seconds is about.
I
And
love
you
that.
start by noticing sensations in the body without judgment and without ruminating. Most emotional waves peak and fall within 90 seconds when they're not resisted. That's all you have to give it. And I'm going to give an example here. My sweet little 8-month-old daughter sits in this cute little high chair thing, kind of like a camp chair, on our kitchen counter. And she's 8 months old and she's hefty. She's like 22 pounds. And so she's kind of gotten to the point where she can rock in this chair. And it's super sketchy to have her on the kitchen counter. And I told Blake, we kind of had a weird, scary situation. And I told Blake like a week ago, this is my partner. I was like, she can't be in that high chair unassisted. Like she's got to be strapped into the chair at this point. And I was reading a book on the couch with my two older boys, and I saw her like in my periphery kind of lean, and I like panicked. I shoved the boys to the side, I jumped over the couch, and I was immediately there. Thankfully, she landed back on all 4 feet of the chairs, but here I was like, had extreme emotional overwhelm of, I was scared, I was fearful, and I was so angry for her lack of protection, the lack of protection for my daughter. Blake came back from throwing out the garbage, whatever he was doing. I went into my bathroom and I took some space to regulate. I let the emotions move through me. I was swaying, I was crying, and then I parented myself. I said out loud, "Hope you were feeling really scared right there. Like the safety of your daughter was at stake and you were super scared." And in doing so, I avoided stewing in my emotions. I avoided having them get stuck somewhere in my physical body, and I avoided building resentment towards my partner. So when we let that emotional wave move through us instead of resisting it, the body settles much faster. But often what keeps the wave going isn't the emotion itself, it's the thought that we attach to it. Your thoughts are not facts. The brain's job is to predict threats to keep us safe. And repetitive thoughts create emotional loops here. The goal is not judging every thought. It's the difference between relating to versus identifying with our thoughts. So curiosity here helps regulate faster than attaching stories or meaning to every thought that pops into your head. And when we stop treating every thought as it is a fact, we slowly take our power back from anxiety. And that's where one of the most important antidotes to chronic anxiety begins to grow. Self-trust is the antidote to chronic anxiety. Anxiety grows where self-trust is weak. Overthinking often means you're outsourcing your own intuition or your own decision making. Regulation then builds when you believe that you can handle the outcome no matter what, whatever it is. Self-trust and confidence grow through those small decisions, actions, and follow through. And when you're ready, I'm going to have you grab your journal out again, and we will do our final journaling prompt for this hour. So this one is going to be a little bit longer, but the first question I would like you to journal around is, what is a decision I have been avoiding? When have I handled something hard before? What qualities about myself helped me then? What would it look like to make this decision in fear? And what would it look like to make this decision based in love? I'll post these in the chat. And I apologize, Leah said the music was a little choppy last time. So I will see if I can get it to be a bit more clear here. Can you hear it?
Mm-mm.
No. Too loud?
It doesn't really it doesn't really show up. It just kind of goes in and out.
These days getting real heavy. I'd break down if you let me go. Oh, could all go in an instant. Why wait when we could be living? Oh, got no direction, that's alright. Forget it all for just the night. In under strain, and sip into the sunrise, living like we only got today. Swearing off the gods, cursing. I feel lost, we'll find our way. We'll find our way. Hold tight to all of your reasons, fall in love with all of these seasons. Oh, sun kissed, oh, I missed the summer where I didn't fear all the thunder. Oh, got no direction, that's alright. Forget it all for just the night. Got to cursing yeah, just sip into the sun. We got today. Swearing off the we're sitting here, and I feel lost. I'm darling, oh, darling.
Everyone feel like they have enough time? Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
good.
Cool. Tracy, can I call on you now?
You're gonna call on me, and I don't know.
No,
I
if you're not
really
feeling
have-
comfortable, please don't.
It's
But I
not
would
that I
love-
don't feel comfortable. I just don't. I don't really know if I have the answers. So,
Ooh, there's no right answer here, love.
I mean, not the answers, but like, I'm still trying to figure out like, what am I avoiding? I'm not really too sure.
Okay.
Well, okay, I'll tell you. Maybe I am. I don't know if I can answer all this. Maybe you can help guide me through it.
Yes.
I've been dealing with foot fungus for a very long time and trying to decide if I want to take that pill for 3 months, because you have to get liver tests, and just trying to think about, I get anxiety over, will my body be in the right shape to do it? Is that what's best for me? So let's see if I can keep trying to answer the question. So what is the decision I've been avoiding is just should I take it, should I take the pill or should I not?
What med?
What medicine?
Yeah.
It's like diflucan or something like that. Something pretty strong that you have to get your liver tested if you're going to be on it for 3 months. Then it says,
Yeah. What would it look like to make that decision based out of fear and anxiety?
I preparing my body to go through it, because I think about my gut, how it can wreck my gut. It'll wreck my gut, can, hurt my body. So hurt, but help.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What have you tried holistically or alternatively to treat this fungus?
Everything.
Okay. Can I get a little bit more background here? Like everything. Like I also struggle with yeast overgrowth, so I'm like, ooh,
Okay.
tell me what you've tried.
Yeah, I've tried the gels. The doctors have given me the gels. I tried, I also had it in my toenails, but I took care of that. I did laser therapy on my toenails, and a little bit of pulsing that medication, but just for a short period of time. So that worked. I've tried, putting my feet, I can't even remember, some type of alcohol in the bathtub. It wasn't alcohol. I can't remember. Maybe vinegar, apple cider vinegar. Kind of tried all of that, and it's just not working. And it's something I've been avoiding over all the years that I've had it, because it doesn't have telltale signs like most people have. You can't even see it on my feet, but I know it's there. And I'm done with it. And, but to some of your questions, the fear of getting through, what did you say? I've been
Kind of,
avoiding.
yeah. Yeah. You don't want it to have like extreme detrimental effects, and unfortunately, that is the pharmaceutical option. Have you looked into homeopathy? Have you looked at oil of oregano? Is one that is really, really great. You've tried that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're at the point where we're like, we need to get to the root of it. And I also think about, okay, 3 months of, my social is going and having drinks with my friends. I know I can have mocktails, but it's a whole bit of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. This
It
big
has a
decision.
big impact on my life.
Yeah. And like the 3 months that you would have to take it.
Hmm.
Mm. Do you feel like it's the right decision for you?
Yes, because I just want it out of my life.
Mm. Mm. So can we hold the nuance of this is gonna suck for my body for 3 months, but I know I can do hard things, and I know I can support my body on the other end.
Yes.
I know I have the tools in my toolkit that I can go to an infrared room, that I can, do other things to support my body. I can get on probiotics. Like you can do all of those things to help support your body. And this is just such a blip in time. When we zoom out, it's like, okay, this 3 months is gonna suck, but I can do it.
Yes, absolutely.
When are you gonna make the appointment to start the diflucan?
Well, I've kind of started. He scraped some things at the bottom of my feet just to really, some skin, just to really confirm that's what's going on. If it comes back positive, I have thought about setting aside November, December, and January, and maybe even going away for those 3 months, renting a place somewhere where I can really
I love
focus
that.
on myself, like a beach or something, that can bring me joy and just focus on myself. Maybe a farmer's market I could walk to nourish my body. So I've given a lot of thought to this and really getting through it.
You've got a great plan, and then it's just
Look at all
following.
you supporting me. Thank you.
It's just following through. You can do it. You can do it, and reach out to your support system. You can reach out to me in terms of like what things look like on the other end if you need support too. But sometimes we do have to choose the pharmaceutical option, and there should no shame, no guilt.
Thank
It's
you.
just like,
Mhm.
yeah, no shame, no guilt, and it's there when we need it. And like, can we be grateful for that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I try to do a lot of things naturopathic, using the naturopathic doctor. And
Yeah.
so this has been really tough that I've ran out of avenues on that. I'm trying to heal it and just giving in to the pharmaceutical. Yeah.
Totally. Totally. Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Probably just have time.
Tracy, I'll come visit you, and I
Okay.
won't drink alcohol in front of you.
Okay. Who wants
Thank
to do
you.
our last share of the evening? Kelly, Amy, Jolynn, Abby, Dawn, Liz.
I mean, I can go, but you already know me pretty well, and we've already had conversations about my blocks.
Can I be more bold? Can I be more bold with you in this conversation then?
Sure.
All right.
Okay, so I said that I didn't really know how to word this or if this is really a decision, but I said the decision to find like alternate healthcare and just finally leave the bedside and trust in my business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When is the last time you've handled something hard like that before, where you've had to like kind of jump ship?
Well, at first I put every day I face hard things, but then I don't know about jumping ship, but my other thing I wrote down for hard is I said was giving birth. I did a natural birth.
Yeah, you did. What qualities about that, specifically that time of you like naturally giving birth, what qualities helped you move through that hard, literally transition of bringing life into this world?
I said my will to push on and trusting in myself and the team that I had to carry out what I know I wanted, my ultimate goal was.
Let's highlight the second one there.
The goal.
No, what was the second one you said?
Trusting in myself.
Hell yeah. Right there. So what does it look like making that decision based in fear of whether or not to leave the bedside?
I said unsure of the future.
Yeah. That's fear of the unknown right there. And what would it look like to make that decision out of so much love for your higher self?
Trusting in myself and what I know I'm capable of.
Yeah, girl. Can't wait to hear more.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna do one final closing piece. And I'm sorry if you hear my kids in the background, but same thing. Go ahead and get comfy in your chair. Go ahead and close your eyes or soften your gaze. Place one hand on your heart and the other on your belly. Go ahead and take an inhale through your nose and an exhale through your mouth. In and out. And as we wrap up, I want to zoom out for a moment because all of these tools are really pointing to the same larger shift. When anxiety shows up, most of us try to control it, controlling our thoughts, controlling our environment, or trying to make sure nothing uncomfortable or painful happens. But what actually reduces anxiety long term isn't control, it's capacity. Capacity to interrupt catastrophic thinking, capacity to allow emotions to move through the body, capacity to hold our thoughts with curiosity instead of believing them to be truth. And when we build that capacity, something really powerful begins to grow underneath it. Self-trust. The belief that even if something uncomfortable happens, when emotions arise, when the mind starts telling stories, we can handle it. And when the nervous system starts to believe that, anxiety loses a lot of its power. It softens when you trust in yourself, and it becomes bigger than your fear of the unknown. Inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Okay, I got one last little piece here. If this resonated tonight, or if you felt a connection, I'd love to share a little bit more about ways to work with me. I have 3 offerings. My first offering is a self-paced program called From Rush to Nourished, and it's how to fit healthy eating into a busy lifestyle. There is a discount code for all of you listeners this evening, and it's going to be active for the next 5 days. And like Leah said earlier, all of this will be showing up with the Zoom recording in an email tomorrow. The second opportunity to work with me is my group coaching space called the Hive Mind. This container is designed to awaken inner leadership, expand capacity for connection, and help you live in greater alignment with who you truly are. The discount here, the first month is free, and that code is also active for the next 5 days. And the last way to work with me is through one-on-one coaching. This is the most potent and individualized way of working together. And in this space, you get guidance and support navigating aspects of your life that keep you small. In my work with clients, I've supported individuals on emotional regulation and stress management, helping people shed people-pleasing tendencies or personas that you've carried throughout your life, and showing up as your true authentic selves. And I support people to become brave, big, and bold in challenging life situations and relationships. The possibilities are boundless in these containers, and all listeners this evening are gifted 2 free coaching sessions to assess for mutual alignment. I just want to, again, so much thank you, Leah, for being the light
Thank you,
who you
Hope.
are in this world and inviting me into your space to experience
Oh,
all of you
thank
beautiful
you.
women. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
took so
And
much away from this. And I haven't thought of my dad, not that I don't think of my dad a lot, but he's been gone for 15 years. But the one thing that just popped up while Kelsey was speaking was he used to say to me when I couldn't make a decision, he would say, "What would you do, Leah Ray, if you weren't afraid right now?" And I would always know that what the answer was, even though it wasn't the easy choice. It was truly what my gut was wanting me to make. It was telling me what to do, but I was scared to make that, right? So um you just brought that memory back to me when you were talking to Kelsey, and I thought I would share that because it was such a powerful one for me always growing up.
yeah.
Um so he would never tell me what to do, but he would always ask me those right questions, and you asked such good questions tonight. So thank you
Thank you. Thank
very
you for
much.
that.
And we will go ahead and send this out tomorrow. So if there's anybody that you can think of that maybe could benefit from this, 2 ladies, feel free to, share it with them as well. And Hope, thank you very much. Thank you
Yeah.
for
Thank you
being here. Thank you
for
all
also
for taking the
coverage.
time to be here and providing yourself an hour to breathe and to learn and to just sit and rest and receive. I'm really proud of you all for that.
Yeah, same.
So,
Thank you all
yeah.
so
All
much.
right. Wow.
Thank you. Take
Thank you
care. Take
all.
care. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye,
Bye.
y'all.